Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Daily High with your host Matt McGregor and Tone Vase. I'm sorry we missed yesterday's show, but it worked out pretty well. Both Tone and I were unavailable at exactly the same time. The price didn't move, so it didn't really matter. But we're here with you today on the last day of the week. Did you watch the debate, Tone? What did you think of that?
Oh man, yeah, I watched the debate, and we even did a drinking game with the debate, and it was we had some fun rules, many of them achieved, and well, what a clown show! It's embarrassing to be an American today, between the both of them. But I'm gonna talk about this on my show later today. I'm also in Wisconsin. I'm in Green Bay country here, so
No.
hence the giant Green Bay coffee mugs. Yeah, no, it's the question during our spaces was what happens to the stock market today after the debate? And my default answer was, as it always is, stock market higher.
Yep.
Because neither because the at best case scenario, they're not going to completely embarrass the country. And the more they both embarrass the country, the more people, exit the US bond sector and the more people trust corporations.
Did you think Trump embarrassed himself? I thought he handled himself pretty well.
I know, but like talking about golf scores as a topic of debate is probably not the best conversation. Trump avoided answering many questions. They were good
Yeah.
questions. I'm actually going to applaud CNN for asking decent questions. And every time they ask the question to Trump, he's like, "No, wait a minute. Let me comment on some personal shit from the prior conversation." And it's not like he avoided answering them. They weren't like gotcha questions. There were questions he should have answered that people wanted to know the answers to, but instead he wanted to argue over golf scores.
I didn't mind the golf score stuff. I thought that was funny. I thought he smashed him there when he's just like, "I've seen you swing." I thought there was an underlining message there that I've seen what you've got and you ain't got nothing. And I thought that was awesome. Um, but yeah, he totally dodged a few questions. There's no doubt about it. I thought, but I couldn't believe how even-handed CNN were in their questioning. I thought that was
Very surprising.
that was, yeah, I thought it was pretty fair.
All right, let's get off politics. Let's get into the charts. And honestly, we missed the yesterday's show, and nothing has changed. It's like we're doing yesterday's show now.
Yep, deja vu all over again. You want to go first? Finish the week off?
Sure. Yeah, let me do that. All right, I should be on screen share. That's the allocation chart. This is the weekly chart. So this candle is giving us a positive volume. Oh, there's you hear Satoshi behind me, maybe the Doug's dog, and we have a positive green volume, which is good. And I don't like the red star candle. So right now this candle is hit or miss. It's bearish based on the MRI, but it's bullish based on the shape of the candle. We're gonna need a couple of more days to figure this out. So right now there is a very slight bearish lean on the weekly scale. The tone-based allocation chart, I will remain in my 20% bullish allocation unless we get a red candle, unless the current candle goes red in the next 9 hours, then I'm out completely. Or next candle starts breaking the lows of the last two bodies, which is sitting at what's the opening? Oh, sorry, what's the closing? 60,000. The moment the price of Bitcoin starts breaking 60,000, I am out completely. And I hate to say this, but this is shaping up for a shorting opportunity. As crazy as it sounds, going into the bull market, that is a shorting opportunities chart. I may or may not short, but that's what it looks like. The daily chart is not rallying like I expected it to. Now, this consolidation is completely neutral. This is a nasty looking. If I drop if I drop the alpha metrics and I drop the moving averages and I drop everything, basically, what you see is a bearish pennant flag, which is generally a disaster. This is setting us up for a massive leg down. I'm still gonna pray and hope that we rally into 66, uh, but I am becoming a lot less enthusiastic on that front. I like the MRI, I like the green diamond, but we should be higher by now. Not being able to be above comfortably sitting above 62 right now is concerning to say the least. We have the weekend coming up. We just spent the last 2 days in neutral territory. So maybe the weekend will establish us above 62. We jump early next week and then we reevaluate everything. I still see this as the mother of all resistance clusters, and I would be very, very cautious here. If we can blow through it, that's great. But right now, there's really nothing to do other than, I don't know, go enjoy your weekend barbecue or something. We can draw something good on here. We can easily draw a horizontal channel. And as long as we are inside this channel, you really have to do nothing. Very, very clear that above this horizontal channel, now this channel is drawn on a 4-hour chart. The upper bound is at exactly 62,000. The lower bound is at 60,750. Below a closing candle on a 4-hour, on a 1-hour basis gets me incredibly bearish into the mid to low 50s. Above 62,000 gets me minorly bullish into 65, 66. Now the 4-hour has its own massive resistance at 64. So there's very limited upside here unless we massively break out with some kind of catalyst. We need a catalyst at this point. It needs to be some kind of international catalyst, some kind of domestic catalyst. I don't know, some massive hedge fund going in, something. You need a catalyst. Tesla decides to become MicroStrategy and buy up a bunch of Bitcoin. I think without a catalyst, Bitcoin will struggle for at least 3 more months until there is all the miners have sold all their Bitcoin, until you really feel the fact that there was a halving. The Mt. Gox coins have been completely dealt with. A bunch of countries are now selling Bitcoin. That needs to be churned through. 3 months might be even on the shorter end of things. Maybe it'll go as much as 4 months. Without some kind of a major catalyst all over the headlines, I can see us, struggling here a bit. And finally, on the 1-hour chart, this is kind of ugly on the 1-hour chart. We have taken all that time missing out on a big move, and we've now caught up with the moving averages, potentially setting us up for a leg down. Not good across the board. And based on the cycle chart, we still have into September before it starts to get, concerning that every other cycle has been significantly higher by now. But we can easily, tread like this into September, including a move down to the low 50s. All right, I'll leave it here. Matt, up to you.
Yeah, thanks, Tone. All right, before I go into it, please like and subscribe. Please share it with your friends. Please use the affiliate links in the description below, and please join the Discord group. Please. All right, look, Tone, I have very little to say because I think that you've really, nailed it with that assessment there. On the daily time frame as it is right now, I really like the green diamond. We had a good response off it, but I mean, look, we've just been crushed down by the 7 simple moving average over and over and over again, and there's nothing to get excited about. Being below the 7 simple moving average, having the 30 cross of 50, yeah, of course the 200 is still rising, but that takes some time. This is nothing. It's a complete cascade fall, and as Tone says, man, if we get below 60,000 here, this looks like a deeper push, which I'm okay with. Obviously, I'm okay with because a deeper push just opens up the opportunities for a 3-day green diamond and a weekly green diamond, the things I've been talking about for weeks, right? So the further down we go, the better the opportunity is to the upside. It's okay. I'm still ultimately bullish. Look at that little dog. I'm say hello, go on, bring him up.
Yeah, hold on. If you stop your screen share, I'll hold on. We're gonna
We can see.
detour
We
for a
can see.
bit.
1 second. Look at this dog. Look at this dog.
Oh wait, I'm on tracking. There we go. There he goes. Now he's gonna start hitting buttons.
Man, that is a fancy dog. That dog has made more appearances on this show. Maybe I've made the most appearances on your show. That
I
dog's
know.
probably second at this point.
I'm gonna turn his head. Nope, look that way. There you go.
Blue eyes. Looks like David Bowie. All right, let me rip through this. All right, so yeah, like as I said, below the 7, not good, right? But we're still at a higher low at this point, which I've been saying for months, weeks. At this point, it feels like deja vu all over again. There's still hope, right? There's still hope. But as Tone said, we've got that mother of all resistance up here at 66. It is what it is. I'll jump around the time frames. I'll go to the 4 hour as well because I saw this on Tone's chart, even though he was using different moving averages. Look at this cluster of moving averages all in the right order. This is what we talked about 2 days ago on the show that was rounding off here a bit. But I mean, we're still below all of the moving averages on alphanumerics, and it looks like this kind of it's begging for a little 4 hour cross here. I do think that this has a chance to have a little pop up at this point. It looks like this is rounded, and we could jump up. But I mean, a rejection here, it would just be a continuation pattern of this downward trend, which is quite significant at this point. That looks really, really clean. When this does break, if this continues just this downwards, lower lows, lower lows, lower lows, this is going to have a fantastic break, and it might not be an ultimate break to new all-time highs, but there's a trade here to be made to the upside absolutely when we start to crack through some of these, putting in a higher high here. I mean, this is really great that we've had a lower low here, but a higher low in, a higher low in. Yes, Tone is absolutely right. That does look like a some kind of bearish pennant, but it has just as much strength in my books that this could crack on up to that 66. We could get that trade that Tony and I mentioned throughout this week, the high rejection point. It is on the cards, although it doesn't look very strong right now. I'll finish just with the weekly because it's the last show of the week. We're still above the 50. We're still above the 50. We're still above the 30 simple moving average, but we're below the 7. The MRI count is not good, as you mentioned. I've got the MRI off at the moment. I can see that, but the MRI count is not good. And with 2.5 days left, you really want to see this thing get back up to have any confidence in this trade. But I really like that the volume is green. That's positive. I don't want to close the week lower than this, down near 60 and that. I don't think that's very positive for the market at all. But as I said, as I come back to you right now, Tone, all is not lost. The sky is not falling as it stands right now. This is fine. I do get that feeling that this is going to be very, very much a sideways market for some time. And that seems to be, it takes a long time to realize you're in a sideways market. I hate sideways markets because sometimes it can take 2 to 3 months before you realize you're in a range. It's not obvious for a very long time. And by the time you realize you're in a range, a lot of people have lost a lot of money trying to catch trades. But let's hope for the best. Tone, do you want to have a look at the S&P before we wind her up?
Yeah,
How's
I
that looking?
do. So there's two
Please.
things to keep in mind on the S&P. First off, we're having a beautiful blow-off top candle, the candle before the MRI top. So I'm expecting an MRI top next week in the S&P, and the higher it goes next week, if we can make it into 5,600, that would be awesome. And then I would be expecting the reversal. I'm very tempted to see where the Dow and the Nasdaq is as well in relation to the weekly top on the S&P. On a daily scale, look at this. So as I said yesterday in Twitter Spaces, I expected today would be a big day in the stock market because the two candidates were going to embarrass themselves and people were going to trust in the stock market instead of oh, good job. No, 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 no,
Wait,
no.
check it. What stock is that? What stock is that?
Yeah. This is a pause on the. Oh, what do you do? Which SPX did I think I had that one. There we go. And so I expected us to rally this morning after the terrible showing by both candidates, which is what I also expected. And the stock market is rising on a daily scale. And we're lining up for a weekly MRI top in the stock market at the end of next week inside a weekly MRI top in the stock market. And this is where I really want to go and check. Oh, yeah, I got to put the other SPX. Probably, huh, 500. Let me see here. I forgot which one I had here before, but let's just go with this one on the daily. And as a comparison. So right here with NVIDIA, let's go to the daily NVIDIA chart. So NVIDIA now puts me in no man's land. But if NVIDIA rallies to 135 and then the S&P tops, that could be a second opportunity to short NVIDIA. The easy money, of course, was already made. Now it's a much bigger struggle to time the NVIDIA trade. I would not be entering or shorting NVIDIA right now. So I really want to look at the NASDAQ to see if the NASDAQ is also ready to top next week. And I don't believe that it is. See, this is a
Ooh,
huge mismatch.
ooh.
Probably. Oh, maybe not. Let's see. Nope, it's the same. They are in line. Sorry, that was the daily chart. They are in line. S&P and the NASDAQ are in line. Now, what about the Dow? DIJ. No, DJI? Yeah.
DOJ, Department of Justice.
Uh, Weekly chart. Yeah, so the Dow Jones is not in line with the S&P and the Nasdaq. It would have been nice if all three of them were in line, but they're not. The weekly chart of the Dow Jones is very different. But that's okay. The S&P and the Nasdaq coming into us to all right tops next week is absolutely critical. And if I've been long the S&P for the last, I don't know, since October, this is the time to take your profit and enjoy your August and July. All right. And next week is a shortened week because of U.S. holiday as well.
Well, what do you got
All
on
right.
next week?
Oh, I'm gonna be in Minnesota. We're driving to Minnesota today from Wisconsin. We're gonna chill at the lake house, and after that, I'm not sure where I'll be 4th of July. Maybe back with family up at my cabin. All right. On this note, we're gonna say goodbye. Close us out as we say goodbye to this guy.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for another
He doesn't want
fantastic
to look at the
week.
camera.
Unfortunately, Bitcoin didn't perform that well, but I hope that you did. Thanks for always tuning in. It's really wonderful to have you here. Please like, subscribe, share it with your friends, use the affiliate links. Tone, have a wonderful time over the weekend. And all the viewers, please have a fantastic weekend.
All right, guys. I'll try to do a show this weekend, maybe on Sunday, and we're gonna rewatch the debate and make fun of it together in a more soberish fashion. All right, maybe. All right, bye, guys.
See you guys.